stone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
I think everybody thinks that that's Bob crying, but it's really Robert crying into the traitor's lap, which is gross. So anyway, welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day, every night at midnight Eastern. That's 9 p.m. Pacific for about an hour each night. We'll do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week. We schedule those topics on Monday. So if you'd like to help create the show, join us on Mondays and comment live. And that's how we create the topics for the week. We try not to follow the news of the day. We deliberately just talk about gun stuff. So we consider this new media. We interact with our audience. We've recently moved time slots from noon till midnight. So we're looking for feedback on the new time slot. Let's see, we run it live on YouTube on our Daily Gun Show channel. We simulcast it at gunchannels.com, which is a community. It's focused on firearms. And let's see, we have, and then we'll take the audio occasionally and post it over on iTunes as a podcast. That means we appreciate everybody who's watching the shows now in the middle of the night or in the future. People especially who take the time to leave us feedback on whatever platform it is. We're on Instagram right now live, we're on YouTube live, and we're on Gun Channels live. Every once in a while we even go out to Facebook live. So all those different platforms, wherever it is, even iTunes where you might find the show, when you take the time to leave us some feedback, we do appreciate it. It helps us to know that there's people out there. That's encouraging as human beings. But as far as the robots and Skynet that run the internet, it's interaction. It allows the systems to know that people like our show, and hopefully that gets it to more, or gets it recommended to more viewers. And that's one of our goals. So we appreciate that. We've got a bunch of hosts, different ones jump in each night. We got Bob jumping in from Canada today. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Whoa, I got it really loud still. We got Smeggy jumping in. Or no, we got Jimmy jumping in from Phoenix.
Hey, good to be here.
And we got Smeggy trying to cut in front of Jimmy there. Smeggy jumping in from Michigan.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
And I'm down here in Tucson. So got people watching on the Instagram. Appreciate that. We've got people watching on the YouTube probably. Oops, we got 23 people watching on the YouTubes. Thanks for joining us late night. I see a couple of people who said they weren't actually going to watch this late logged in, so appreciate that. And again, we're looking for feedback. You can give us feedback in the comments. I'm sure some of the guys are watching the comments like I am as well. But feel free to email us anytime, dailygunshow@gmail.com. So tonight is episode 462, and that means we're going to be talking, well, it's also Tuesday, right? So we're going to be talking Second Amendment issues. Tonight, it's when antis distract from the consequences of their policies. And I'm pretty sure this one's mine because of the spelling. I think this is when they either ignore or just downplay any of the consequences of their crazy policies. I think we saw a lot of that in California, so I guess we can talk about that tonight. We have the wild card subject in the middle of the show, which I think we were going to cram full of dang, I thought I had something in there. Oh, the movie. This awesome movie called The Puppet Masters from 1994. And then we have the state of the state, where we look at the gun laws from a certain state. We're doing the states in order that we hit them on the Gun Show Loophole Tour. So after New York, I went back into Pennsylvania, and then I skirted around until I had to touch just the very tip of Delaware before I poked into, what is that, Maryland. So, boom, Delaware counts. I was in it, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Hopefully Jimmy's got that covered. And then we do stuff like the gun shop of the day, the gun show, or movie of the day, and all the other stuff. So episode 462, before we dig in, we usually take a break at the beginning. We're in a different spot now. We get to judge all the shows that happened during the day, starting with early watch, early in the morning. I think the first one tonight, being Tuesday, would have been Ghost. And then
Yeah, with Tactical Tuesday,
you guys with
and then I would say the best show, Hit or Miss Tuesday nights 9 o'clock.
the show at 9 o'clock on Tuesday.
I've never heard of it. What's it called?
I agree with that. Being that it's the only one.
They're in Mississippi or something?
No, it's Hit or Miss Tuesday nights 9 o'clock.
And now I've seen on the
Never
lobby. The lobby is like an open chat room that's always going on gun channels that people jump into and just chat all day long about guns. Somebody had said in there earlier that Big Gunner had his show earlier tonight too. So does that mean Rick got a new channel going? Because I went back and looked specifically to find out if he had a show going, and there hasn't been a show on the Big Gunner 81 channel for 2 months.
No, I just saw it on there, unless he has a backup one that's called something similar.
Well, that must be because
when you asked that, I looked for it.
Oh, so we got to find out what the heck's going on with Rick. I
got it on my phone here. I'll look up real quick.
He's got the same problem as me. I got a strike on the Gun Websites channel, so I can't do anything live over there. Just super annoying. I used to basically live live. Everything I did was live. If I was going to the bathroom or something, I would go live.
Yeah, Big Gunner 81, 2,000 subscribers.
He was live?
Yeah, I guess I didn't see it live, but about 3 hours ago he posted an hour-long show.
Dang it. So we got to figure out what's going on with Rick. Anyway, like I say, we're in a new position now, being at the end of the night. I feel like we can judge all the other shows and decide which one was the best show of the day or night. So
yeah,
to the list. But you don't want to have to watch shows all night, Bob?
no, I'm just thinking, yeah, then we can judge who's got the worst show.
Yeah, well, we figured it out tonight. It's a 9 o'clock show. Usually, like I consider that the drain of this Tuesday night shows.
Yeah,
they all go down that way.
Well, it's got like Night Strikeout in it, you know.
Oh, he's been waiting.
Yeah, Night Strike saying that Rick started a new channel, so I wonder if he goes live on the other channel, and then rips the video and uploads it to his regular channel.
Oh, that would be smart. I should have been doing that. Dang it. Now you tell me. 2.5 months into my
just go live on like Gear Websites channel or something, and then pop it over to the Gun Websites when you're done.
All right. So anything else since we're what's today, Tuesday? Anything else going on that we want to dig into before we jump into the topics of the show? I already started late.
Yeah, not really. I didn't see anything really interesting other than some guy lost an election or something. But
oh yeah, what happened with that? Well, that's weird. We can talk about the news after the day. So that was the guy from Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Who won? He was a middle-aged guy, and yeah.
He won or he lost?
Oh, he lost.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So now we're going to dig into Second Amendment issues. When antis distract from the consequences of their policy. I mentioned that before. So like I say, when I start talking to people from Firearms Policy Coalition out of California, I met a couple of them now, and we've had them on Every Second Matters. We've had them on this show, I think, too, right? As a guest back in the day. They talk about holding not so much accountable, but making it part of the debate at the early process before these things are even passed, like at the committee level, when stupid anti-gun legislation is trying to be passed, and it's just delusional fantasy stuff. They'll bring out the financial consequences and require that the funding be brought up in the fantasy debate. Should we pass this or not? So that it's not a situation where they're like, oh, let's pass this and then figure out how to do it. Right. So I think that's one of the things that I think of as a valid position or a valid strategy to defeat some of this stuff before it even comes through. I mean, I guess it's sort of like the rattlesnakes that quit shaking their rattles. Like they figure out after a while that they got to come with a stronger game, but at least it'll require them it'll defend for a while, right? If we were to do that at a more wide level, and then force them to actually come to the table with stuff figured out as far as financially.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of the big things. They're all about, licensings and checks and this, that, and the other. And it's like, if you bring up, who's going to keep track of all that stuff? Like, oh, it'd just be on a computer. Like,
It's
okay,
real.
who's going to buy all the computers? Like, it's not just magic. You have to physically have hard drive space and stuff and networks and
And where do these computers live and who runs them?
right. Who updates them? Who keeps them from getting hacked? Right? Because I mean, there's
Who has
especially if you're
access
talking
to them?
registration stuff, there's sensitive material there.
Yeah,
Right.
sensitive information, exactly.
Yeah, so whoever's got access to them has to be vetted, right, to make sure that they're not just some lunatic. So, I mean, you're going to have a pretty stringent hiring process. I mean, the whole thing just becomes incredibly expensive. So fast.
Then we got Hawaii. Excuse me.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about Hawaii.
Excuse me. Then we have Hawaii. Okay. So if you'd like to help our production value, we have a Patreon that's in the description of all our videos, and we would use that money to suck less. So there's Hawaii, right? And the whole idea that, oh, let's pass legislation that you can have medical marijuana, no problem, right? And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, and also we're going to enforce federal law at the local level too. We're going to enforce we're going to discriminatorily, how would you say that? They're going to enforce the gun part of federal law, but not the marijuana side of federal law at the local level. So we were talking about this earlier with Z, and he was saying how the local, when you have to go in Hawaii and register a firearm, since that's part of the process of acquiring or transferring a firearm to yourself from anyone, you can't just like sell a friend a firearm. It has to go through the police department and be registered to you. That's the kind of place they live in. When you do that, they tell you right then, if you have a medical marijuana card, which I guess is okay in Hawaii, then don't even bother applying for this because you can't have both. You can't have a firearm and a medical marijuana. So again, they're saying, hey, we're local level, state level police here. We're going to enforce the gun part of the federal law, like down the line. Like that's what they say at the federal level. That's what we're doing. You're taking the consequences of that. Oh, the marijuana side? Well, we're just state level and it's a state law. So we can't touch that. So nobody's holding them accountable to that. And that's like more than just theory. That's like policy. That's like actual consequences now. People are literally having to face the repercussions pretty soon of if they do not turn in their guns, right?
Right. Yeah, I found that weird to hear that when you go to register the thing, like there's a sign up or whatever, and then apparently the person behind the counter also said this, like, hey, just making sure, like if you have a medical card, you don't want to register. Like they're basically telling people, don't comply with this law because then we're gonna have to come get you. Like I thought that was the most interesting part when he was saying that like there's a poster up that's like, remember, like this, you're not allowed to have guns if you have a card, so
Don't fill that part out.
Yeah, don't tell us about your guns, like when you're at the place to tell them about your guns. It's just crazy.
Well, no, they're telling them not to tell them about the marijuana card.
No, because that's already in a registration system. So they're basically saying don't register your guns because otherwise we'll know about both. Because they already know about the one.
That's not what I understood. I understood that they had signs up saying, if you have one of these cards, don't fill it out on the form because then you won't get your gun.
Well, either way, they know if you have it or not.
They're definitely not saying like nod, wink, wink. Don't answer yes to that number 7 or whatever it is. Like they're not saying that. They're saying don't waste our time or yours. You're going to get denied if you've got a medical marijuana card. Don't even start this process. At least that's the way I understood it.
I must have misunderstood. I thought it was like, they're telling you just don't mention you got a card because all that would be state, right? Your card would all be state stuff. That's not federal. So being the gun stuff's all federal. I mean, they would have no record of you having that.
I wish we had like a resident that would be able to clarify.
Somebody that lived there
If only.
Yeah, maybe I misheard what he was talking about too, because I was under the impression it was when you went to the station to register the gun, and then they're basically saying like, "Don't do this because we're gonna end up finding out about it."
Don't register the gun, you're saying.
Right, because we're gonna know that you have the pot card.
And I'm thinking they're just telling them not to tell the federal government that they have the pot card.
Well, no, that is definitely not what he was saying, because that would be like when you're at the gun store filling out the 4473, and they're not doing that.
No, this is at the police station when you're registering with the state. The state's going to be like, wink, 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 wink. You don't have a medical marijuana card, right? Wink, 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 wink. You know, like pointing at the camera on the wall that says like the feds are watching. Wink, wink. You don't have a medical marijuana card, buddy.
Oh, really? I think the state would do that, wouldn't they? Because wouldn't a lot of cops just do...
Hawaii is so pro-gun. That's the first thing they think of. It's like, how can we get more guns easily into the hands?
All cops were pro-gun because they knew how useful guns were, and that they only got there to write the crime up, not to actually prevent it. I must misunderstand, or maybe it's just from a different country.
It's still an example of unintended consequences, or possibly intended consequences of the anti-gun laws. And I think the whole point of this segment was talking about that, you know, thinking about that kind of stuff, right? The anti-gun policies, what are the actual consequences? And how come they never talk about that to begin with? You know, you said it's a distraction from the consequences of their policies. So that's, you know, when they're bringing the stuff up, they don't want to talk about this. That's why they're like, yeah, we'll just have a gun registry. Like, that's cool. Oh, and we'll have these other registries. Like, yeah, don't think about the fact that we might put the two, like, cross-check the two lists and then start writing letters and taking people's guns away. Like, they would distract from that notion.
I think, to be fair to Bob, though, he lives in a country that's got corrupt government, so rampant up there. He's used to that.
Oh, unlike ours, which is not corrupt at all, right?
Every time you get stopped in Canada, you have to have money for the Mountie and his horse.
Yeah, well, that's why I carry a bag of apples. So, you know, if you feed the horse apples, he likes it.
Well, because if you feed the RCMP horses apples, they won't chase you when you try to outrun them.
Well, I thought you were going to say give them a beer, and then he's going to be all, hey, no problem, eh? And then you're like, ha, you run off, and then the horse stumbles away.
You just always make sure when you're in the Legion, you know, the only bar around, the Legion bar, you make sure you buy the cops beer, because they're allowed to go in the Legion beer, or Legion too.
Oh, what? Thank goodness.
What?
Oh, scared the hell out of me, man.
All right, so that noise, that sound indicates that we're having the tactical pop quiz. So at any time, any moment during the show, we could have this tactical pop quiz. It's open book, but we're going to open it up to both the gun channels and the YouTube side. I need you guys to help watch both. You got the answer there?
Yeah, I'm on the gun channels right now.
All right, so basically, yeah, if Dana was here, you'd be hearing a little song. And, oh, let me get the countdown timer going. Forgot about that. Forgot a crucial piece of this. Everybody's going to have however long this countdown clock is. So let's find out how long this countdown clock is.
Give a Google Play gift card to unlock millions of...
Nobody cares about your Google Play gift card. Loser, Google. All right. So it is 33 seconds long. That's how long you're going to have to tell us the movie of the day on episode 295 of the Daily Gun Show.
Snap.
Say it just one more time. Episode 295, what was the gun of the day? And now we're watching the gun channel side. Mostly, and also
we want the movie of the day, not the gun of the day, right?
We might as well watch the Instagram side too. They're, I think, ahead of the game. Princess Bride is not it. Oh, and it's ending. It's ending. Oh, nobody got it. Nobody. That's
Oh snap! You gotta admit though that's pretty. 30 seconds to go find the video and then read the description. That's
on at the middle of the night. No excuses. Come on, audience.
Yeah. Seriously, what really everybody should just watch every episode until they've got them memorized.
Memorized, exactly. Come on. There's nothing stopping you from listening to these shows every moment of the day. Have it on like a phone, like on a loudspeaker in the car. The kids could memorize it and help you. Come on.
Or if you're like Smeggy, you could get a spreadsheet and just take down interesting points like the gun of the day, the movie of the day, what the subject was, and just have them all lettered and just have a big list. And then you could just memorize those simple spreadsheets,
Clover tack.
So, well, actually, Night Strike got it first, but I didn't know if it counted since the timer wasn't going off anymore.
Oh, it doesn't count. There's no chance it counts. But I thought I saw it come up from Clover Tack first. You're saying it was Night Strike?
I saw it. On my computer, Night Strikes came up. On the YouTube side, you weirdo. What's wrong with you? Get over to Gun Channels, you bum. And then Clover's.
Okay. So, yes, it was Force 10 from Navarone. So, thanks for participating. Just a little too late. So that means probably a good time to jump into the next topic. We pretty much solved that first one, but the point of this show isn't to solve the topics. It isn't to give you some kind of authoritarian information or anything. It's just to discuss these things. We're regular dudes talking about these things, and hopefully give you some topics to talk about at the range, at the gun shop, at the gun show, with other people on your platform, whatever it is that you hang out in and have conversations, like Smeggy used to do at work, right? So, that's one of them. Let's talk about the consequences of the policy when these antis will come up with these grandiose ideas. So next we're going to jump into this movie that's awesome for the wild card topic today. But before we do, we usually take a break between the first and second topic each day to feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. And periodically we switch over between Gun Channels and Patreon. Trying to talk and type at the same time. I think I got my screen up there. And today we're talking about Nutnfancy over on the Patreon. So we support, at this point, something like 30 channels over on Patreon, different gun-related channels. And I'm probably going to edit that because it is going to be $40 next month, I think, with the new Patreon fees. But anyway, one of the channels that I saw is kind of new to Patreon is Nutnfancy. I think everybody knows who Nutnfancy is from the YouTube. And I thought it was cool that he jumped over to Patreon. A lot of the bigger channels jumped over. And obviously he's been doing stuff for a long time. I'm assuming everybody knows who he is. We don't have to talk about who he is, right? But no. Just the fact that he was over on the Patreon, that was kind of neat. And honestly, if I've got to cut people, he's going to get cut. Number one, he's been doing it for a while. He's a big boy. He doesn't need another dollar. And he doesn't really do that much. Let's see when his last post was. December 11th. So as soon as I said that, of course, he posted one yesterday. But, he's not as chatty as like Clover or Ghost or somebody who we know that's chatting quite a bit. And as soon as I said that, look, he does have a bunch of stuff. Whenever I last looked at it, he hadn't been chatting much. But probably like a lot of people, he's figuring out that Patreon is a nice platform, being able to interact with your audience. One of my big things to say is we have, don't think of them as subscribers, think of them as viewers. And the viewers are the people that interact with your content or with your projects or with your channel. So, when you think about it like that, then Patreon does offer some neat tools to get information out to them selectively and then get information back with polls and whatnot. And then even just in the concept of the perks, being able to play with the perks. A lot of channels do different things. It looks like Nutnfancy's just doing the $1 one. So I'm wondering if he'll change that up. But anyway, I don't know if you guys want to add anything. That's our featured member today is the Nutnfancy over on Patreon.
He introduced me to size and weight constraints. That's,
And I've said, a lot of people give him slack, right? It's like the cliche, his review video is 2 hours long or whatever. But I have to say, when I was first starting to look on YouTube for guns, what?
Slack or flack? Because slack.
That's what I meant. It's too late in the night. Yes, they give him flack. They criticize him. Oh, it's too long of videos. Well, when I was first watching gun stuff on YouTube. I mean, he was at the top of the searches for almost any gun you're like thinking about getting. You type it in, bam, he popped up. And that did kind of introduce me, like, oh, people talk about gun stuff on YouTube, like that's neat. And then I found some other ones that I enjoy watching more, but I'll give them credit to kind of introducing, because until then I was just, you know, using YouTube for what everyone else does, like, you know, cat videos and car stuff or whatever, right? So
somebody getting hit with hitting the nuts.
Yeah, stuff like so. It's like once I realized, oh, this content exists, then I specifically went out and started searching for it, and then, like I said, I found other stuff to watch. But he seems like an okay person, whatever. Like him or not, he was one of the big guys way back in the day.
Yeah, I've watched a bit of his stuff. I also watch a little bit of his stuff he does on the motorcycles. That makes me just laugh. But because but yeah, he does some pretty cool stuff, actually.
Are you saying because of like type of motorcycles, or because he's a novice?
Type of motorcycles, and he's not a novice, but he's not really knowledgeable in a lot of ways. And yeah, he wipes out and stuff, and yeah, funny.
I watched that. He actually, all seriousness, he got me hooked on that that incognito van thing that he was doing, or whatever, the camper, you know, the stealth van or whatever. He did like a whole series on that. That was kind of cool.
I only ever saw the one where he was like in a parking lot somewhere, like showing all of his stuff kind of in the back, and I was like, okay, I definitely don't want to have that much stuff in my van.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're saying there's a whole series? Maybe I should go watch more of them. Are they all?
There was like 3 videos, but it was pretty much the one video was like you were saying, it showed how he crammed all that stuff into a van, and then the other video was like, you know, POUs, his philosophy of uses and all that stuff. And yeah, I saw 3 of them. They're pretty decent.
Right on. Well, that's the thing. He was like, I don't know, he had stuff in there for like his motorcycle and for something else. And I'm like, well, I don't have a motorcycle, so I don't need a bunch of that stuff. And then, I don't know, winter clothes or something I didn't need. And a giant bed. All right, well, so we feature a member every day. If you have some suggestions, feel free to email us. It's dailygunshow@gmail.com. We're always curious what we'd like to feature. If you have like a series, you know, all 5 days of the week, maybe a theme or something. We used to do that once in a while. We'll probably do that more often again. But anytime you'd like to contribute to any part of the show, feel free. That's really what we're trying to do here, is explore the new media. That's why we're broadcasting it live on Instagram right now. Wishing we had a little bit more communication coming in from that Instagram side. Maybe it's too late. Maybe people on Instagram are only on it during the day, right? But let's keep going. So looks like we're losing people to the evening, but we're growing in numbers. So thanks to the people that are watching us. I'm assuming some of you people are watching for the first time. This is the Daily Gun Show, and we've recently moved our time slot to midnight. So we're moving into this awesome movie. So every day we try to feature a movie, a gun-related movie, something you haven't seen in a while, or if you're young and something you ain't seen yet. And this is a movie that Matt brought up on his Nerd Chat on Monday, called The Puppet Masters from 1994. So I had never seen it. I thought that it was the movie about like a horror movie with little stupid puppets and some goofy-looking guy that was, you know, it's like a horror movie where the puppets stab people or something. So I thought it was a goofy horror movie. He said, no, it's more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I watched it. It's on YouTube. We have a link in the description. You can watch it. It's a really long movie too. But what sold me is it's written by Robert Heinlein. So Stranger in a Strange Land, Starship Troopers, some of the coolest books ever. He did the whole Boys series or whatever. So these are like short stories that are science fiction. They're just super cool to listen to on audio tape or read. And he wrote, this is a book that he wrote in the 50s, and it's really a lot like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where some aliens come down and sort of try to take over the world. It is the coolest movie ever. Now, I've been saying that for a couple of days because I am thrilled. I really like to find movies that are awesome that I just never knew existed, and this I consider one of them. So has anybody else seen it besides Smeggy?
When you told me about it today, I looked it up, and it caught my interest, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing, though. Donald Sutherland? I'm in there.
I got through 40 minutes of it about, And yeah, it's just terrible.
Okay, you didn't like it. So how about you, Snuggy? Did you like it or no?
Yeah, I liked it. I wouldn't say it's, best movie ever, whatever. I'm a little concerned that you are one of those aliens because you're promoting it so much. But whatever, you're still cool. Like you still have all your memory or whatever, so that works.
I can totally prove it. Let me just take off my shirt and turn my back to the camera.
Then I would believe you. But yeah, it was interesting, and like I think you had commented earlier, it's like the plot twists and stuff. Like it's pretty good. For me, I got sucked in.
Catch that?
Oh, I must have trouble. Sorry about that.
Camera problems. Sorry, I guess I won't get to you.
I had a Wi-Fi problem, so that proved it. So yeah. Anyway, you didn't like it, Bob. Why? Because it was cheesy, or because it was so awesome you couldn't stand it?
No, the acting was so bad. Yeah, the acting was terrible.
Oh please, he's yanking it up. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be like some cinematic.
No, I mean it's got to be at least plausible, right? Like nobody thinks this guy's shirt's part way off after fighting the guy the second time. Nobody thinks to go, hey, wait a minute. Can we see your back again? I know we just checked it, but you've now been the first one again to catch this guy. Let me see your back. Nobody thinks to do that. Oh, it's just the holes in the plot. Just holes in the plot everywhere. Drove me nuts.
I mean, I definitely, okay, Bob's starting to sway me. It would have been a better movie if everyone just walked around without their shirt on.
You guys are crazy. Donald Sutherland is like...
He's really weird in this movie. He's weird in this movie. It's like this was the period of his time when he was either drunk or like on some kind of a pill that makes you like not have any emotions and talk like this.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was like a robot kind of dude.
Unless he was like, just talk like this through the whole movie, they'll never know if I have an alien on me or not, and then it'll
be... I don't know. That was his character, though, man. It's like being mad at Deadpool because he cracked jokes when he was killing people or something.
That's true. No, and it was cool. It was. I thought it was just neat, and yeah, the acting wasn't great. Who cares? It was from '90s. Like, come on, it was a shitty. You know what it was like? And the dude was in it. They Live. It was very much like They Live. No.
I don't think I watched enough of it to get that kind of vibe.
Yeah, there was some of the same thing, right? Because like you could put on night vision, and you could tell. With thermal glasses, you could tell which one was the alien because their temperature was a little higher.
Until the aliens figured out, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
And that was something I thought was kind of interesting. In fact, I commented earlier today in the lobby was, they had the army or whatever, and they had the night vision on their rifles. I'm like, holy crap, dude, that is a giant box they're carrying around.
Well, it was Gen 2, I think. And it was empty because they wouldn't have been able to hold them like they were. And I don't know if they were ARs. I think they might have been judging from the stocks. So that's the other thing. That there's weird 1994 guns in this movie. The dudes who are supposed to be like some version of the CIA that looks for aliens are walking around with like, I don't know, like a 32 ACP Beretta or something weird, like some little tiny gun. It's the weirdest guns in this movie. I don't know if they were like a weird airsoft thing or something, or I don't know. They were probably real guns back in '94.
Yeah. Did anybody else think it was funny though? Like when the newspaper guy went to pull a gun out of his desk.
Out of nowhere. That's what was so awesome. Yeah, like let me just in the middle of the conversation kill you.
Right, but that's when the CIA
guy's like, oh wait a minute, I think you're gonna kill everyone real quick, and I'm gonna kill you quicker. That was awesome. And
he pulls out a silenced pistol.
All right,
like
part of it was
to have that silencer on there.
Well, that's why you can't have silencers. That's why we can't have share, because look at that, you can just murder somebody and no one even knows. The aliens don't even know.
It was one of those really cool little short silencers, about 1.5 inches long, too.
So the name of the movie is called The Puppet Masters, not Puppet Master, which is a stupid movie. This is called The Puppet Masters, and there's a link to it. You can watch it on YouTube. After this show, you can watch it on YouTube for nothing. Just click on the link down there. Somebody has it on YouTube, the whole thing, and it's a really long one. But what I dig about it, too, is that it doesn't try to, like, dumb everything down to like stupid level. Like it doesn't have to explain everything. In the background, you hear somebody go, "Can you stand?" Like when they catch that little kid, they're like, instead of like making a big point of like, "Hey, can you walk?" or whatever, the one dude's like smashing into the electric panel, and then she's like, "Can you walk?" And you hear in the background, "Yeah," and then boom, that's just done, and now the kid's walking. Like I just like how it just keeps moving, and the plot moves around so much that you don't see it coming. You don't know what's about to happen. You think you kind of do every once in a while, and then you just give up, and you're like, "Wow, this is neat. I'm just going to let this keep going."
Or it could be, it could just be that it's that implausible that, you know, that's why you don't see it coming. It's because, well, they would never do that. That's dumb.
It is weird. Yeah, it ain't great as far as being perfect, but I like how it was an effort and it was long. And anyway, so Cycle Camp says the book was much better, which I don't disagree. I'm sure that's true. It says the movie started off good, then went south, turned into a standard, what is a BEM movie?
I don't know.
That is
I have no idea.
Sounds sexual. I would say maybe a B movie.
That's probably.
I love B movies though, so that's like right up my alley.
All right. Well, we took a little bit longer to talk about this one because we used it as our wild card topic today. So normally we do talk about a movie each day, though, and today it was a link in the description. So watch it whenever you want.
Cycle Camp says Bug-Eyed Monster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to say it was the best. It was just cool to find a movie from 1994 that was so awesome that I haven't seen. So I'm definitely just kind of excited to see that a movie snuck by that I had never. It was sort of like when I saw The Postman. I always thought that was a drama. I didn't know that was a cool movie until just the other year, like 3 years ago.
Like with Kevin Costner?
Yeah. I always thought that was like a drama about a guy who was a postman. Something. I never watched it whenever it first came out. So anyhow, let's go to the state of the state. Are you good to go on this, Jimmy? We usually take a state and feature it each month or each week.
I'm ready to rock. We're going to Delaware's today. Let's see here. So the gun laws in Delaware. State permit to purchase? Nope. Firearm registration? No. And that's on both long guns and handguns. Assault weapon law? No. Magazine capacity restriction? No. Owner license required? No. Carry permits required? Yes, on both long guns and handguns. Delaware is officially may issue state for concealed carry, but mostly shall issue in practice. Permits are generally issued to all applicants not barred from owning a firearm. Open carry for both is good, yes and yes. Open carry without a permit is generally permitted. A 2014 state Supreme Court ruling recognized that open carry was a long-standing fundamental right, barring local prohibitions in effect prior to July 4th, 1985. State preemption of local restrictions. Yes for handguns, yes for long guns. Complete preemption except for Town Ordinance number 146 enacted on 6/26/1980, which bans the carry of firearms openly or concealed in Ellesmere's Town Park. Also, the city of Dover did require a permit from the police chief or a state concealed permit to open carry, but this was repealed in October of 2015. NFA weapons restricted, yes and yes for long guns and handguns. SBRs and AOWs are legal. The city of Wilmington prohibits possession of SBRs within city limits. Machine guns, suppressors, destructive devices, and short-barreled shotguns are prohibited for the average citizen. Peaceable journeys, no. Federal rules observed. Background checks required for private sales, yes, on both long guns and handguns. Private party transfer of firearms to persons other than family members must be conducted through a licensed dealer who is required by federal law to conduct background checks and keep record of the state. A transfer to a person who possesses a valid license to carry a concealed deadly weapon is exempt from this requirement. and that is Delaware. The first half was great, and then they just took a left turn and went downhill from there.
My experience was I was driving from New York through Pennsylvania to go meet up with Moon in his part of Pennsylvania. And I could have drove two different ways. One took me through New Jersey, and the other one took me through stupid Catskills, I think. Stupid, like 25-mile-an-hour curvy road. I guess it was beautiful, but it was stupid 25-mile-an-hour road, so it took me like all day. And I didn't want to drive through New Jersey. So then I got down to that little corner and thought, whatever the little corner was at, where the New Jersey and Maryland and Pennsylvania all come together, I thought I would have to cut through New Jersey. Then it turns out it was Delaware. So I'm like, oh, crap. I did a quick search on the web. My CCWs applied because I was in Pennsylvania. So I figured, okay, great. I'm just going to cut through this it was like, I don't know, 8 miles. It was a very small piece of Delaware there. And it's just kind of neat to be able to say I carried in Delaware. But so that was my experience with it, is that my CCWs worked. So it can't be too bad. Like I say, it started out good there.
Yeah, they did. They started off great. I was like, nope, 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 nope. And then they just ruined everything. But it ain't as bad as some of the states we've seen. So
yeah, that's so I was looking through most recent actions and whatnot, and basically there was only one thing like for this whole year that they were trying to push. This is going back to like June. Yeah, June 20th. It was a House Bill 222. So 222. And that would basically, allow an individual's family members or law enforcement to petition a court for a restraining order if they consider the individual to be dangerous to themselves or others, simply if the individual owns, possesses, or purchases a firearm. So there's a couple other states that have done this, right? They call it like a gun restraining order. So it's not like you can't be near a person, it's you can't be near guns. And the thing is issued by a judge based solely on a brief, unsubstantiated affidavit made by the petitioner in absence of any input made by the individual the order is targeted. So basically, you don't even know what's happening, right? So your girlfriend goes in and is like, oh, the guy's crazy. And they go and take your guns or whatever. And then, yeah, you might be able to get it back later, but that's absolutely ridiculous. Proven, guilty till proven innocent, blah, 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 all that stuff. But the other thing I saw on it was that ended up the hearing got canceled, and the General Assembly recessed in July. So this was, the end of June, right? June 21st, the hearing was canceled. July 5th, the General Assembly is in recess until 2018. So I guess they only worked the first half of the year, and then they just, take the rest of it off, which in some ways I think is kind of good, because then they can't screw stuff up for half a year. They only have 6 months to screw stuff up. So for all I know, it's probably still sitting there waiting for him when 2018 starts, but it never went anywhere, right? The hearing got canceled, so it's just sitting around. And then I started pulling up some other stuff, and then I realized I was already back in 2015. I was like, oh, man. So they don't, in their credit, they haven't been pushing a lot of stuff anti. Now, there was really no pro stuff in there either, so that's kind of bad. But they've kind of just been sitting normal. So that definitely, that made Delaware, you made my job easy for the state of the state stuff. Unlike when we do like a California and I have 12,000 tabs open, I'm only gone back a month.
Yeah, there you go, eh?
So that'll take us into the gun shop of the day. So one of the reasons Bob and I started doing this show, 462 episodes ago, was so that we could feature a gun shop every day. One, because we like to drive around looking at gun shops, and we BS about gun shops all the time, and appreciate the interesting things about them, but also because we want to encourage people to share their gun shops. So Remember, you're probably watching this on a phone. If you're watching it on Instagram right now, you might be watching it on a phone on YouTube. You might be listening to this on the phone in the future. That phone's got a pretty nice camera in it. When you walk into a gun shop, ask them if it's okay to take some pictures and share them on the web. Most shops, I got a 90% success rate with them saying sure, and take a couple of pictures, share them on your whatever your platform of preference is. If it's gun channels, if it's Instagram, if it's YouTube, maybe do your own blog or your own website. You do your own Facebook thing or whatever it might be, and then share it with us. Email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to feature it. It's like, say, one of the reasons we do a show daily instead of just once a week like some of the lazy channels do. So today we're going to feature Firearms Museums. We've been doing the Gun Show Loophole Tour. Bob and I checked out some of the museums down here. We've checked out museums. Bob went to the Browning Museum. Been to not every single firearms museum in the country, but that's my goal, to eventually see them all. And we have a website called gunshopguide.com, and we have a link to it in the description of this video. Or you can go to gun websites, and we have it there. There's links to it all over the web. And we've got a section of the Gun Shop Guide for firearms museums. It's one of the items in the menu, and it's got links to all the different museums that we've visited and a whole list of them that we have yet to visit. So lots of fun in the future, but you can check out some of the pictures. If you go to these different pages, they'll take you to our videos that we've posted, and then some of the live shows that we've done at some of these locations as well. So today's Gun Shop of the Day is actually a whole bunch of firearms museums.
Uh-huh. I gotta take a look at the list and see if there's places I can stop on the way down and stuff.
Right. One of our projects should be to put a map into, integrate some maps into this.
Yeah, that would be actually kind of cool.
You could definitely hit the Cody, I would think. I mean, you're closer to Cody than anybody.
Yeah, should be able to.
Kind of neat to try to figure out how to go north from Vegas to Cody.
Long drive.
Salt Lake City. Cody, come back down through Denver, except it's in the middle of the winter, so everybody's all worried about it. And Bob has some problem about coming down to the U.S. and being like 100 miles south of where he lives in Canada. He insists on thousands of miles south for some reason.
Yeah,
well,
for some reason.
That was our gun shops today. Again, we encourage you to remember that you've got a camera in your pocket, so help promote your shops. We talked about a little bit earlier as far as when we appreciate getting the likes and the channel subscriptions and that kind of thing. It seems like 16-year-old girl stuff to be fiddling on your phone or to worry about liking videos and stuff. But that's the tool. That's the systems, the platforms that let us be on a platform, which is the second largest search engine on the planet. It allows us as gun creators to be a part of that and to have our stuff out there in the mix with everything else. And we do our best on our end to make the videos findable, by the search engines and by Google's brains. But your interactions allow that to happen more. So that same concept, using these tools to, just like we use the tools to clean our guns or our sights to shoot our guns accurately, these are simple tools. Once you've mastered them, use them for practice with your gun shop. Help give your gun shop some promotion. It's the kind of thing that they literally can't afford to pay for. People that come to them and say, let's do this for you, charge the gun shop. That makes your prices go up. You can have some fun and you can help your shop out. Here's the thing. If you want to just think of it as what's my return on it? What if you post a couple of pictures of a gun shop and 6 months later, somebody comes in and makes a sale, they talk about how it was from your picture. And the next time you come in, guess who's got a free transfer? Maybe a box of ammo or something. You might get something in return if you think about it that way too. So that's one of the goals of our shows, not just to talk about guns. None of us are trying to be famous. You don't see any of our faces or nothing. We're not trying to be the next YouTube star. We're just trying to keep the conversation on guns going and not focused on whatever the mainstream media is trying to keep our attention on. Anyhow, so that's that segment of the. Go ahead.
I wanted to say something there. Sorry, I was answering a message over on Gun Channels. But oh geez, turn your camera up, Bob. When you take the pictures, if at least when you're using the Instagrams, use hashtag Daily Gun Shop, because then that kind of puts them all together in one hashtag, and that might be an easy way if you do that, and then email us and say, hey, look at my Instagram, I just posted a bunch of stuff. It'd be easy for us to find your pictures of that shop, and then when it gets featured on the show, we can screen share your account or whatever and show off some of the pictures.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. And since you mentioned that, we do have a thing on Wednesdays when we do our entertainment segments. We do our hashtag Daily Gun Show. So if you're using the Instagram and you post something that's interesting, use the hashtag Daily Gun Show. On Wednesdays, we take a segment of our show and we look at our Instagram and see who's been using the hashtag Daily Gun Show. We judge those pictures and we determine which is the best picture on Instagram that week. So all kinds of fabulous prizes and wealth, women are in store for you if you use the hashtag Daily Gun Show over on the Instagrams.
Too true.
All right. So I think next we can jump into, well, we did our movie, I guess. Should we do the firearm of the day? Wait.
What?
Are we shooting the firearm of the day?
Yeah. No, that's not it.
This is an unprecedented second chance. They're going to have, what did we determine, 33 seconds on this clock? 33 seconds. So
Well, they
hopefully
already know what the movie of the day
you
is.
drank some coffee earlier, you've shaken off the slumber, and you're going to be able to tell us what's so interesting about episode 374.
I don't know what that is.
An answer from either side. Should be fairly simple to figure this out at this point. Like Bob said, you could have just memorized every episode. There's not even 500 of them. I'm not even seeing attempts at an answer. The Princess Bride is not the answer.
I see Red Dawn.
Well, looks like we have an answer. Looks like we have a winner, and it's on the Gun Channel side, of course. How did that not surprise me? And it's from Scars, and it is. We were at Red Dawn. We were at Las Vegas, New Mexico, filming on location where they filmed Red Dawn. So well done. That was episode 374. Go back and watch it sometime. It's awesome because we were at the town where they filmed Red Dawn. That means we're going to send you over to our website, dailygunshow.com, where you can let us know where to send your fabulous prizes and gifts for winning the pop quiz. Now we'll wait for Bob to wake up. Do his thing.
No, don't wake up, Bob. Bob can stay asleep because I'm going to say, you know what, Scars? By beating Night Strike on the YouTube side, because he did have the answer, but after you, that makes you the tactical hot shot of the day.
Just got clerked.
Remember how yesterday,
That's actually fine. I was kind of hoping he was going to jump in and do that. I really like to save my voice.
remember how yesterday Bob had to do that for Z? How weird was that?
Yeah, that was like a paradox.
That's like when you come home for Easter and both of your parents have had sex change, so now your dad is your mom and your mom's your dad.
That'd really be confusing.
Yeah, that's what it felt like yesterday.
Well, let's talk about the gun of the day. Now, I picked this gun all by myself, so no one else can take credit for it. So nobody in the audience or nobody who's been watching can take credit. It's the G9840. Now, this is a gun that's made in Budapest, I believe, in Hungary.
Oh, it's not. What do you?
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's made in Hungary, but it's not actually a Mauser, even though it's called a G9840, which makes you think, oh, it's like a Mauser, right? No, it's not. It does shoot the same caliber.
No, it makes me think that robots made it if they used a dumb name like G4830 instead of like some actual
G9840, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's basically, I think it's built on a Mannlicher action, basically. But it looks just like a Nazi gun. You know, I guess bolt action. It cocks on close, I think, is a big difference. But yeah, it's a decent gun. Yeah, we've used it for a long time.
A lot of Nazi guns cock when they close.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it said in the thing about it.
It
But
looks like a
it does seem to be a kind of a cool little bolt action rifle. And it's made in Hungary, even though everybody thinks, you know, it's a German gun. So it's not actually. And I'll bet that was all, no, I'm saying that was all me. Nobody else out there gave me any ideas about it. So.
Stupid gun. Nobody wants to take credit.
Yeah, I would be ashamed if I was the one that came up with that idea.
The only thing good about that gun,
I'm taking total blame or credit, whichever way it goes.
The only thing good about that gun is it makes all the other guns of the days look better.
Yeah, I don't get it. What's so neat about it? It's bolt action rifle. Okay.
It's made in Budapest. I just like saying Budapest. Kind of a neat name. Where do you come from? I come from Budapest.
Budapest. You have to put like some sh into it.
Anyway, it sounds like you come from somewhere where like a fat guy in a diaper bothers you a lot, you know? It's called Budapest because there's been this big fat guy in a diaper who used to come and poke you all the time when you're sitting there. That's what I think when I hear Budapest.
Okay, well, so let's move on. So today in history, we try to hit interesting things in history. There was some interesting stuff today. I'm going to start with the births. Dick Van Dyke, famous actor, born in 1925.
Actually, I like Dick Van Dyke. He was a good actor.
I feel like Dick Van Dyke would be anti-gun if he was around nowadays.
No, Dick Van Dyke. You look at where he was born and everything. He was a gun guy. He hunted and everything.
Also, Ted Nugent, born today.
Proven not an anti-gun guy.
Really? I thought he was kind of anti-gun.
1950.
No, he likes guns. He's just kind of a jerk.
Bite your tongue, Smeggy.
All right, so I started with them because I wanted to jump back upwards into, on this page at least, upwards into the history. There was stuff in here that's not that interesting, and then, was there anything interesting? I didn't read all of this. We don't do the best research. Sometimes there's cool gun stuff, and we have that on our guncalendars.com website, and I don't think there's anything over there today. I'll go double check. But there is one interesting piece of not gun-related history, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. And as soon as I can click on that, it says that today in 1972, astronaut Gene Cernan climbs into his lunar lander on the moon and prepares to lift off. He's the last man to set foot on the moon. So what's
now?
You're correct. Up until whatever. So, but what's neat is Gene Cernan lived near. Let me try to think now. It was like some aunt or something. It was like my grandma's aunt, so whatever that makes her. Anyway, she was his babysitter. So when astronauts used to go up to the moon or whatever, they would have pockets on their pants and carry all kinds of like dimes and patches and stuff for their friends. And anyway, long story short, I have a patch that's been on the moon that Gene Cernan had on the moon on that trip. So it was given to whoever that was, and then when I was a little kid, it was given to me. And super cool. My favorite patch. Anyway, that was in 1972. Last guy to step on the moon. Mainly because he wanted to bring that patch back to me.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I know when I go up to the moon, I'm just going to litter it with Gun Channels patches.
And then bring those back to help onto dough. And then charge.
Actually, if you bring them back.
I'm not going to bring them back. I'm just going to leave them up on the moon. So when the aliens come by, they'll be like, oh, better not mess with this planet.
Well, that or they'll be, we better check this channel out.
Well, that too. Welcome to all our alien listeners for sure.
Hey, we don't know. We could have alien listeners.
But we don't want to be like what was that guy I just watched the other day because Star Wars was on? Alderaan. No, it's a peaceful planet. It doesn't have weapons. Boom. Yeah, there's a reason they got blown up because they don't have any weapons to fight back. Not Earth.
Okay.
So.
And Smeggy's got his own theories on this.
All right. So did a gun shop. We did the gun movie. We did our first and second segments. We're pretty much on time, I think.
I think so.
Oh, and we just hit the hour on the stupid Instagram. So boom. Instagram, 71 people watching over there. Thanks for that. They can't hear me because it's over. But I don't think we had that many people watching on the internet side. So what Instagram clobbered the internet today. But we do want to thank everybody. We had way more than 40 people watching for a while there. That's probably a record for our show. And we've been doing this for 460-something episodes. So thanks, everybody, for participating in that. Hopefully everybody digs the format and the people that are new. There must be new people out there since we've had more people watching. Hopefully you enjoy it. And we're here every day at midnight, every night at midnight, whatever it is, for about an hour. And if you'd like to be part of the show on Mondays, we ask for help scheduling out the show. So we talk about ideas that the audience brings up. And we're always got our email out there, dailygunshow@gmail.com.
All right.
Should we talk about what's going to be on tomorrow before the show?
We haven't talked about that.
What?
We haven't talked about what's on tomorrow.
Let's do that. Let's make Jimmy do it. He doesn't do nothing. He gets paid to just sit there just doing the state of the state. What's up with that?
Pushing buttons.
Well, tomorrow we are going
to buttons. I'm over here pushing all the buttons.
Yeah, you guys pushing the buttons. I don't know how that happened.
I thought we hired Jimmy to push the buttons.
Well, let's keep going.
Yeah. Weaseled my way in, and tonight or tomorrow on Gun Channels, we're gonna kick off the day with the early watch. Ponnery's gonna be running it, or good morning. No, it's early watch. Something. There's gonna be a morning chat tomorrow at 9 Eastern. And it will be on Sean Ponnery's channel, and then we have Clover coming up. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. So Clover, it's weird now at night. He's going to be doing his Next Generation, the youth shooting show at 8 Eastern. And then Never Enough Ammo. Matt is going to be, Wednesday is, I think, his politics chat. So then after that, us, Daily Gun Show.
And at all times, there will be probably lobby chats going. So remember those.
Oh yeah. Well, the morning chat is going to run about 8 hours, I believe, 7.5, 8 hours, something like that. And then Knives, I think, does a late one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and generally, anytime there's a gap, somebody jumps in. So we're pretty much 24/7 as far as live interactions go. And no, I know that Flippy is back, but that doesn't mean that the afternoon chats have become furry shows. So just so everybody knows that. But welcome back, Flippy. I think it's time to close our show out with a quote. Now, we do try to close our shows with a quote every day. So, yeah, this one I'm doing something a little different. We're going to do one by Colin Powell. Before that, though, I'd like to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. I mean, we got 31. That's doing really good. So, yeah, great. If you can, support us on Patreon. Link will be in the show description. So let's go with our quote of the day. Colin Powell. Don't bother people for help without first trying to solve the problem yourself. Now, isn't that just common sense? Only more women understood that. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening, and send all your complaints to Jimmy at dailygunshow.com.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.